And we're back once again, ladies and gentlemen, only on It Is Last Call. Last call with the alcohol, only on It Is the Blue Wire Hustle Network. And now join me on the line. This man here, well, he will be fighting in action against Jorge Cota, May 1st, only on pay-per-view. It is Ruiz versus Arreola. And this man will be in action. Well, a lot of people say he is going to be, well, this will be the start of a jump, dare I say, title contention. 154 2021, 2022. I give you it is the towering Inferno himself. I give you it Sebastian Fundora. Sebastian, so it's you, Jorge Cota. It's a big fight here. How excited are you about this? That they're putting you on this card. This is a big all Latino card. You have some bigger names from the PBC, and you're on this on the main card, not the undercard, not the televised undercard. You're on the main spot.
It's very exciting. The fact that they're putting me on an all Mexican card and they consider me as a great Mexican fighter in the roster, I'm grateful.
Jorge Cota, he's a guy who he has more wins than you have fights combined. He's 30-4. He's been around the block. What does he bring to the table? Like, when you and your team have sat down, you've broken it down, you're like, what makes him a dangerous fighter compared to, let's say, anybody you faced?
I guess he has experience. He keeps talking about how he has a lot of experience, and I guess the record shows that he has a lot of experience with the fights he has. But we train hard just like we train hard for everybody else, so we'll be ready for him.
Speaking of experience, one of the things I've noticed is that with each fight, you're getting more comfortable fighting from the outside. That so there were times earlier that you would get inside, you want to throw the uppercuts, go to the body, and sometimes guys would be able to catch you. How much of this now is becoming more easier, more just natural, where it's like, all right, stay outside. Been working inside, use my jab, use my height, because damn it, I'm just much bigger than everybody else.
Yeah, it's just growing into my body. We're still 23. I feel like we're now finally setting into everything. But honestly, what the fight presents too, if I feel like I could just walk in there and walk the guy over, I'm going to do that.
I remember the last fight I remember watching you was last year. It was you versus Nathaniel Gallimore. This is a guy who had, who had a win over a former world champion and Jason Rosario. Take me through that fight. It's a brutal knockout. You basically catch it with one big punch. How nice is it though when it's not one of these wild shots? It's not like you're just swinging wildly or big looping shots. It's something you set up with the jab and then you come over with a big right or you come over with the left hook. How nice is that when the small stuff is now making sense? You're able to set up your shots and it all feels natural.
Yeah, that's what we train for. That's what we train for. That's what we train every day in the gym. We practice, we do mitts, we do sparring, we do all these things to practice for the fight. So with every camp, we learn more and we see more, and it shows in the fights.
Take me back to Jamontay Clark fight, because that's so far the only quasi blemish. It was a split draw. It was in Minnesota, of course, so that's always a tough place. But looking after that fight, like, what change did you make? Like, when you and your team look back, what did you guys decide? Okay, we need to do this better. Or we need to change this up so that this doesn't happen again.
We just matured. We matured back then. In that fight, I think we were 21. We had time to grow. We had plenty of time to grow. We still had time to grow. So that's all we're doing with every fight, not just that fight, but with every fight to come. We learn from every single thing. We grow, and we look back at the fights and we see what our mistakes are in every fight, not just that fight, and we grow from it.
Speaking of growing, how much has this year been for you about growth in terms of just personal, where, your last two fights, have been different, where the first fight, Gallimore, there's no crowd. It's basically just you, him in a theater. There's almost nobody there. You have to isolate for the entire week. You only can leave if you have meals or working out. How weird was that? And how tough has it been for you just having to, despite the fact you're a young man, you've had to give up a lot because like all of us here, COVID forced us to have to grow up quickly.
Just like my sister said, it wasn't really different. I didn't go out. I don't go out. I don't party. The only thing I do different when I'm not training and when I'm on break is I guess hang out with a couple of friends, but that's about it. We still don't go out or anything like that. And with camp, I just stay in. I just box. I just eat. I just sleep. That's the only things I do. So when COVID hit, it wasn't a big difference for me.
I'm not even talking about a part like when that week you had where you beat Gallimore. How weird was it having to be sort of under lockdown, where, as I said, usually it's like, you fight, the week of a fight night. Sometimes it's like, I just want to take a run. I want to clear my head, leave the room anytime I want, just take a run, or I want to do this. I want to just get the hell out of a room because I'm getting stir crazy. And you couldn't do that because, it's quarantine, it's COVID, nobody wants to get COVID. How frustrating was that week for you in a sense of you were almost treated like a little kid? It's like, oh, you stay in the room, can't leave the room unless it's time to eat or time to train. And how much was that a sort of a frustration of like, all right, God damn it, I just want to get the hell out of the room?
It wasn't weird. It wasn't weird because, we'll be fighting in LA, we'll fight in Vegas. I don't go out to the strip or I don't go to downtown LA and go sightseeing or anything like that. We stay in our hotel. We stay focused. That's what we're there for. My mom even packed us food for the whole week, so we didn't have to worry about the people bringing us food. So that didn't even make me feel uncomfortable. We were ready. We were ready for it.
Taking back to the last fight, you went from one place where there was quarantine to the December fight, Habib Ahmed. It was a big card, Arlington. How nice was that for you getting to fight for the fans? Where, I know a lot of everybody says, when you fight with no fans, it feels like a sparring session. With the fans, it just feels more natural, the cheering, the adrenaline rush. How nice was that having that second fight in 2020 where, post-COVID, where all of a sudden you're fighting and there's actually fans in the seats and they're actually cheering instead of just, nobody there. And it feels, as you said, like a lot of people said, a sparring session.
Yeah. I remember when I fought in the bubble, I can hear the commentators. That's how quiet it was. I can hear the commentators while I was fighting in the ring. But when we fought in Texas, it was such a good feeling to see me walking out and just see that first fan out there watching the fights and greeting me or cheering my name on. It was a great feeling to have them back. And with this card, we're going to have a live audience again in LA. We're here in California, my home state. So I'm ready. I'm ready to show.
You've been getting a good rub from the last couple of fight cards where, as you mentioned before, it's December 5th. It's Spence Garcia. You're on the main card. I think we're actually either a co-main event or a fight underneath the co-main event. Before that, as you said, it's a PBC on Fox card where it's you versus Gallimore. Is it ever sort of like a bit just, I don't want to say intimidating, but just awestruck that, here is, this company, the PBC, Al Heyman, Samson, three of the most powerful people in boxing, and they view you as somebody who is going to be a future star, but they view you that highly that they're going, all right, we want to get, a lot of eyeballs on this kid. We want to make sure that, he's part of the future, but we view him as a cornerstone of this company.
I'm extremely grateful, but I feel like they know what they're doing. I feel like they see something that a lot of people are starting to see now too, that we are exciting. We are a fighter to put on TV. And like I said, I'm extremely grateful, and with every opportunity they give me.
If you're just tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is Sebastian Fundora. We're talking all things, of course, boxing. We're talking COVID. We're talking even, as he said, his growing up as he gets ready for his May 1st pay-per-view fight card. Last two questions before we let you go, and then because we know we're pressed for time, we have a lot of things going on. It's getting to the point now where you're a name. I mean, people now know who you are. It's no longer, he's a prospect. Who will see me, and he's tall, you're now a guy who's ranked, who is on TV, and you're making some money, I'm guessing, which means there's a lot of people now who They want to get into, the inner circle. They want to get into your pocketbooks. There's probably friends who are going, Sebastian, I got this great idea. Easter, ostrich eggs, great investment. I need $20,000. Or Sebastian, hey, I'm doing this, video, there's a rap line here. I want to do my own CD. It's gonna be great. I need 15K. Who helps with that? Like, who helps sort of like keep the vultures away and make sure that you're not just going, yeah, ostrich eggs are a great investment. Here's a check for $50,000.
Yeah, I got barbed wire around my house. But before that, it was my parents. I always talk to my parents before I do any decision like that. They always been my team. They always supported me my whole career, my whole life. So if I'm gonna make any financial decision or anything of the sort, even business-wise, I talk to my parents. They're my go-to.
As all this is going on, as you mentioned, that as you said, you've matured and you've grown up, and you've had to grow up because, as most people have pointed out, you're a professional boxer who there's a lot of eyeballs on. You're, somebody who is part of that next, Latino stars. You, Jesus Ramos Jr., Teofimo Lopez. How tough is that, though, when you have, as I said, you have to grow up? It's most people, your age can sometimes still say something stupid on Twitter and just get away with it. You can't. Most people can just sort of even get into trouble a bit. You can't. How tough is it literally having to be sometimes just, perfect all the time, because there's always people watching you, whether it's little kids, whether it's business contacts, whether it's promoters, and you have to set a good example. You have to show people that you're not just, a good boxer, but you're a role model who people want to do business with.
Yeah, I just stay professional, and it's not like I'm acting like this. This is just the way I am. I'm not in school. I never got into fights or anything like that. So to be someone calling out names or to cause a ruckus, that's not me. That's never been me. My parents didn't raise me like that. So that's just the way I am.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, he'll be fighting. It's going to be May 1st, only on pay-per-view. This man here will be taking on Jorge Cota in a 154-pound scrap. I give you, once again, the towering Inferno himself. I give you with Sebastian Fundora. Sebastian, before I let you go, where can the fans check you out at? Where is the Twitter page, Instagram, the website? Where can fans hit you up at?
You can follow me on Instagram at Seb Fundora, and then you can follow me on Twitter at Sebastian Fundora, and that's about it. Sebastian
Fundora, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are proud to have him on the show. But once again, stay tuned for more great action only on It Is Last Call. Last Call with the alcohol, only on the Last Call YouTube channel.